Our panel, Forbes Media CEO Steve Forbes and former Chrysler CEO Bob Nardelli. Now, Bob, I want to start with you. As a former Chrysler CEO, should President-elect Trump be implementing 25% tariffs on goods from China, on Canada, I should say? This affects anyone buying a car, as you know, as parts for those cars go back and forth across the Canadian border a couple of times. So what would be the effect of that?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Edward, and good to be on your show again. So we've lived through this before. The companies that I've been involved in personally or are managing, we had these tariffs once before, and we worked our way through it. Edward, it's no different than the 9.1% inflation. We're still dealing with 40% wage increases, materials, precious materials. So let me say this personally. If I could share a personal note with the senator that just spoke. As a father, I hope that the fathers and mothers out there that have children and grandchildren don't have the experience that we went through with our children and grandchildren having 2 home invasions and rendered helpless. The trade-off is not even discussable. We got to get rid of this lawless society. We got to get rid of these criminals that are coming into our country and attacking our families, Edward. It's not even close. The price you can't put on your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah, that's powerful, the personal experience. So, Steve, we know the President-elect Trump likes to use the tariffs as incentives. What do you think about this move?
I think one reason why the markets haven't tanked on that kind of news is precisely because people know that President Trump is going to use it as a negotiating tool to get a new agreement. And I think in terms of Mexico, it's going back to the status on people crossing the border, what we had in his first term. We had very few people crossing illegally because Mexico had an agreement with us to keep people in Mexico or even prevent them from going into Mexico from Central America and elsewhere. So I think this old status quo should come back. And in terms of drug enforcement, I think that'll be beefed up. So I see this as a negotiating tool. It's certainly gotten the attention of Canada. It's gotten the attention of Mexico. And I think they'll come to agreements. Mexico may have a harder time swallowing, but they have an economy that could have been leading the world now, and it isn't because they've had a rotten president before her. And if she continues those policies, we're going to have another problem from Mexico because of a rotten economy sending people across the border. So I see this as round one of a negotiation that I think where both sides can come out ahead.
Yeah, and they have a cartel problem down there, too. I want to read reaction I got last night. We heard about the prime minister, the deputy prime minister, who negotiated the USMCA under the first Trump administration. Chrysler Freeland says this, quote, Canada and the United States have one of the strongest and closest relationships, particularly when it comes to trade and border security. Canada places the highest priority on border security and in the integrity of our shared border. Now, she adds that Canada will continue to discuss with the incoming administration. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, in fiscal year 2024, there have been 19,200 apprehensions at the Canadian border, and that is more than the last 17 years combined. So, Steve, there is a problem on the northern border.
Well, there is, and I think this again gets the attention of Canada and Mexico, that the old status quo, i.e. what we had under this administration, is over. And their measures going to be taken. And it's good for them, too. We don't need the terrorists there. We don't need them here. But Mexico has the bigger problem, and one that I think she's going to have a hard time facing up to. And you mentioned it before, the power of the cartels. Mexico is becoming gradually a narco state, and that's bad for the whole of North America. So, and also a problem with Mexico, Lawrence, is that Mexico has been violating the agreement, the post-NAFTA agreement, the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. They violated in terms of energy and some other areas. So there's a lot to discuss, and I think he's got her attention, and hopefully she'll realize it's in both interests of both countries to get this thing back on track. Immigration.
So, Bob, yeah, I want to bring Bob in on this point, too, actually. Is this the right kind of stick, then, for Canada and Mexico to act 25% tariffs? Is that enough?
Yeah, I think Steve said it exactly correctly. My experience, again, we went through this once before with this president, and it's a negotiating tool. It's not a policy. It's an initiative that will get their attention and hopefully stop this invasion that we've incurred over the last 4 years that has just been devastating to our society.
So, Bob, are you concerned then about maybe the tit for tat? The Mexican president saying, you heard this morning, possibly we'll impose our own tariffs. Are you concerned about that escalation?
It's very possible. As Steve said, it's possible. But again, I think this will bring us back to reality. You don't want to self-destruct Mexico. We certainly don't want to self-destruct the United States or Canada. But we must get control of these open borders and the infiltration. And yes, there'll be some financial pain. We went through this before. We've just gone through it with 9.1% inflation, and we're having to endure that. While the rates come down, nobody has backed off on price. Nobody has backed off. And if you look at the auto industry, it's certainly under siege because of this EV mandate. People aren't buying cars now, Edward, and you can see the magnitude of layoffs that's taking place. You can see $6 billion at Ford written off because of this debacle. So, yes, there's a cost to it, but I would say the trade-off is more than fair of what we're going to get out of it.
So, and Steve, in addition, the president-elect says he'll add 10% tariffs on Chinese goods above whatever tariff is on right now, unless they stop the export of the drugs that make fentanyl. I want you to listen to Kevin O'Leary yesterday, and I'll get your reaction on the other side. Listen.
They cheat, they steal, they copy, they flood markets. These guys play dirty, and they've been doing that since 1999, not just in the U.S. market. In the European market said, well, everybody's getting screwed by the Chinese. And as long as we let them continue to do it and we give them the kumbaya treatment, which the last administration did, it's time to change all that. Bring them to the table through the stick and cane.
And Steve, what do you think? Is 10% tariffs across the board for China enough pain to make them stop with fentanyl?
Well, in terms, I think it gets their attention, but it goes beyond the tariffs in this case. This gets to basic security of the United States, the openness of the critical South China Sea, and other security issues that are out there. So I see this as part of a broader problem with China, and that is they've got to know they're not going to run the world. They're not going to undermine the free world. This is a different administration. We're no more appeasement. We're going to have a world in which liberal values, I mean in the old traditional sense of liberal values, can prevail. And that's going to be critical. Yeah. China does not take us seriously right now in terms of military and other things. I think Donald Trump is going to change that.
Steve and Bob, we got to leave it right there. That was great discussion. Thank you, guys.